Wow, have I got some clips for you this week. Hey guys, and welcome to another video. In these videos I review clips that you tag me in and we pick our favourites. For exact details on how to get your clips in the next video, check out the description below. But for now, let's get into it. This is the first candidate of the week. Meet Brad, a Liverpool fan who's taking part in Daily Race A. Now most people take part in races to win, but I don't think that's Brad's intention on this one. Check out his actions coming into the final corner. So Brad is going to enter the corner in 5th and leave the corner in 11th. All rather illogical. But a special shout out needs to go here to Phil Pro AC1, who clearly sees all this going on and is fighting the good fight. So he's going to pull alongside Brad here and try and give him a punt himself. Unfortunately he goes through, loses his way on the grass and inadvertently pits himself and then quits, making the ultimate sacrifice. Bravo Phil, bravo. So we're on the final lap now. Brad has worked extremely hard over the last few laps to get back up with the pack, presumably to make his way up and get the best position possible. But no, he's just there to cause absolute carnage and ploughs back into the pack again, ruining quite a few people's races. One person whose race he didn't ruin though is this Spaniard here, who I think is going to be quite happy with Brad's moves. Here's Brad up ahead as he goes clashing into the group ahead. He's going to go all the way up to 6th place. Let me know in the comment section down below if you think Brad is the dirtiest driver of the week. Moving on now, we've got another candidate, La Casilla. Here he is at Monza, although I don't think he's quite on the level of Brad at this stage. So he gets punted up the backside into the first corner, a common occurrence here at Monza. So he's clearly a little bit agitated and wanting to get a move on. So the Brit in front here in the Subaru is going to pay the price. So he's going to squeeze him out onto the grass there. As he brakes, the Subaru just has nowhere to go and he is gone. For me, Brad is still winning, but a worthy mention nonetheless. The next driver comes in the form of the German John J1 and actually appears in the exact same race. So here he is at the start. Him and a few others are going to get caught out by the issues that we had with the latest update. So they're wanting to get on with it. As you can see, the others are pulling away, so they're going to be a little bit annoyed and eager to get on with it. So after a few laps, John J is up to 11th. He's got the Mazda up in front, who is proving a little bit more difficult to pass. So rather than passing him legitimately, just a little bump into the second Lesmo sorts that one out. Now we're on the final lap. He's in 17th and last at this point, coming to the final corner. He again has the conundrum: do I make a legitimate pass, or do I just bump him out of the way and get rid of the problem? Of course, option number 2 was selected. He bumps the Portuguese guy out the way again for the second time in this race, and he comes across the line. Now, the final candidate for today is, yes, you guessed it, the guy in 5th. Now, there are mitigating factors to this, because as you will see, he's clearly having a bad day, but still, some of it unacceptable. Now if you're watching this, don't get mad at me for putting you on this list, you put you on this list. So let's check it out. So as I said, there are some mitigating factors here. So Martin's acts are not something that I particularly condone either. So they're going to come out inside each other and they're going to come down into the first and second corners. There's going to be big amounts of contact here, which is going to clearly infuriate Martin as Bocamomos makes his way through into 4th. So we're going to come through the S's here, and it's clear that he has got revenge on his mind. because as he comes up here towards the Dunlop, well, you're going to see what happens. He's just going to punt Momo's straight off. Now that is not a good move by Martin by any means, and potentially he should be on this list. Actually, yes, let's add him onto this list as well. So there's another candidate, but things start going from bad to worse for Momo's. So he finds himself in 8th place, and we're going to look at this from the chase cam of the Frenchman behind here as we're coming out of Spoon and down the back straight towards 130R. So Momo's, to be fair to him, a good move there. He's going to go to the inside to make him go around the outside of 130R. He's going to squeeze him a little bit, and then they're both going to get onto the grass, but Momo's is going to spin round and find himself way down the pack, all the way down to 11th as we've seen here. Unfortunately for him, we've all been there. He's going to make another mistake coming down here into the first curve. He's going to put his wheel onto the Astro, and off he goes again. Now we're going to flip to the Brits view, who is currently running in 14th, as we're seeing up ahead Momo's recovering from his spin, because there's going to be more contact, yet more contact between himself and the driver in 13th. So as we're coming through the S's here in an almost identical move to the one we saw earlier on Momo's, the guy in 13th is going to dive up the inside here, but thankfully for him he manages to hold on to it. He's lost a place, he's down in 13th now, but he's held on to it. So normally, yeah, you get frustrated, but you wouldn't do what he's about to do. So just watch this. Punts him straight off at the hairpin. So in case you wanted to think, oh, he may have done that by accident, let's look at it from his point of view. For me, it's clear. For someone who's been punted off early in the race himself, I don't know why you do that. And also, Gran Turismo Sport has a funny way of paying you back. It's like it's got its own form of karma, and we're going to see that karma coming back to haunt Momo's very shortly. So now we're on board with Arcflyer, who's just recovering from a spin up ahead, and you can see Momo's coming to try and make the move down the back straight. So he's going to have the run on him here, and he's going to try and make a move into 130R. But keep an eye on that little red dot on that guy's steering. He thinks better of it, and he's just going to bin Momo straight off in 130R, which in real life would have been an absolutely ginormous collision. And that just goes to prove GT Sport definitely has its own form of karma. Unbelievably, the last candidate for the day is again GT Boca Momo's. Watch him here swerving across in the braking zone to try and defend his position here. But that is the very least of it. So that was on lap number 1. We're only on lap number 2 here, and the fun is already gonna begin. He's gonna chuck it straight up the inside here of the M6, punting him straight off at turn number 1. But unfortunately, his move didn't pay off, and he remains down in 5th. So of course, he's going to have to do something about this, isn't he? You could pass him properly, but of course, being a Dirty Driver compilation video, that is not what is going to happen. So, here he comes here, down into the next corner, a million miles back. He's just going to punt the BMW straight off into the gravel and take his 4th place. This instant here is going to be 3 in 3 laps. We're only on the 3rd lap. He's going to go wide into turn number 1, which loses him a bunch of time here, which brings the Brit and the guy in 6th right into play. You can probably hear them clanging about behind him. So he's going to get a bit of a slide on coming through turn number 2, losing a place to the Brit in the Aston there. But he's just going to chuck it up the inside and muscle him through. Now the Brit isn't having that. You can see him there just in the bottom of your screen, and he's going to go around the outside of Momo's, fair play to him, and make the move 6. So Momo's is down to 5th at this point, but things are about to get worse for him as he's going to drop that rear wheel onto the grass there, and he'll be off into just about the gravel, and he starts falling down the field. As he comes out of TV3, he's going to lose more places coming up the hill through turn number 9, and he's going to make another horrendous move down into Lucaxia. Here's the Brit here, and he's just going to punt him straight out of the way. He even turns into him. Absolutely disgraceful, and just loses further places. He's down into 12th now. As if the dirty driving wasn't enough, what's even worse is just plain cheating. Watch him here as he cuts out the entire final section, and for those who want to know what the issue was and why they brought out a patch update, that is one of the reasons why, because people like this guy cheating and cutting out huge parts of the track. Not only has he done it then, he's going to do it again. He's going to do it again. And yes, he's going to do it again. This corner cutting continues for the rest of the race, but GT Sport on lap number 7 says enough is enough. And after cutting the corner on every single lap since the first time we saw it, we now find ourselves on the final lap. He's got eyes on third up ahead as he cuts the corner for one final time, but it looks like Sharip GT has got his number. So despite there being contact there, he can't make the pass, and fourth it is for him. And that concludes my clips for this week. Please let me know in the comment section down below who you think should take the crown. But for now guys, that is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks again so much for watching guys, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.